this video, I will be showing you how to do the split leaf technique. This is a technique I learned many years ago from Pat Campbell. I have adapted this technique to my quick prep applique method, and that's what I'll be showing you. Let's look a little bit at exactly why I use this technique. Here I have a leaf that is split between two colors. Let me get up close here. The point at this, well, it's nicely rounded. It doesn't look too bad, but it isn't nice and sharp. With the split leaf technique, we produce a point at this spot on our split leaf that is very, very sharp. We begin with the pattern drawn on the wrong side of our background fabric. I have traced that using a number 2 lead pencil. I'm going to use the pin method of placement to determine where to put my first applique patch. This is a fast and easy way of showing approximately where my patch will be on the front so that I can place, get a decent pin here, so that I can place my applique fabric. There we go. Probably didn't need that last pin, but I put it on anyway. Okay, here we can see exactly where I need to place my applique fabric. So I'm just going to lay it over there. I can pull the edges back and look and see and check to be sure I have plenty of room all the way around, room that includes the seam allowance. Once I have that in place, I go ahead and pin on the front side. Place pins holding the applique fabric in place. Okay, then I can flip to the back side. I can remove my pins and I am ready to baste. I think I'm going to use a dark thread for this. I just need a basting thread that contrasts well. And I think it will be easier for you to see if I use a black. I will actually put in 2 separate threads as I do this. First, the line between the 2 halves, I am going to baste and clip when I get done with that, so it becomes a separate thread. Pull that on through and clip it. Then I am going to take and baste the other half with the second thread. I will be placing the bottom half over the top before I begin any stitching, any applique. Let me get right down into that point. I'll flip it around and put in a stitch, or even 2, maybe coming down here. 2 will make it a little bit more stable. So while these stitches are shorter, they will hold better. I will go ahead and clip my thread, and you can see on the front the top half of the leaf has been basted into place. I now am going to clip the seam allowance for the top fabric between the 2 halves. That would be right here. On this, I'll be clipping right here. I am going to leave that at 1/4 inch. It's the part that slides under the bottom half, and I want that to be just a little bit wider so I don't have to worry about it. Okay. At this point in time, I'm ready to flip to the back, and I will once again place pins on the drawn pencil line. Only this time I'm doing the bottom half of the leaf. I won't have to do any on the line between the 2 because I can see the black basting thread there. So I need only outline the bottom half here. I can now flip to the front, and I will place my applique fabric over the bottom half, and I will check to be sure I have allowed plenty of room all the way around for my seam allowance. Once I'm happy with that, I will pin this one in place. Flip to the back and remove the pins I put on the back side. Now I'm ready to baste again. I am going to first remove the basting thread between the top half and the bottom half. That would be this thread, and I'm going to take it out. Then using a thread that contrasts well with the bottom applique fabric, in this case white, I am going to first baste between the top half and the bottom half. I seem to still have a thread in there. There we go. I'm going to baste the line between the two halves. And I'm going to baste it just a little bit closer together than I sometimes baste because it's a small piece and I think it will hold much better if I make my basting stitches just a wee bit smaller, shorter in this area. Okay. Once I have done that, I am going to go ahead and clip the thread. Let's look at the front. This is the line between the two halves. Okay, now I'm going to go to the back again, and I am going to baste the remaining part of the bottom half of the leaf. I have completed the basting of the bottom half, and you can see that on the right side. By the way, whenever you are selecting a basting thread, be sure you select one that contrasts in color very well against the applique fabric. You want to be able to see it. I'm now ready to begin trimming this. So I'm going to turn and I'm going to first cut the section between the top half and the bottom half. Come in here. Now I'm only cutting the dark green that is the bottom half. I am not going to cut the background nor the top half. I'm cutting it at a little bit, about 1/8 of an inch. Can be a little bit less, or a little bit more, excuse me, but not much more. I don't want 1/4 of an inch or anything. I just want the section that is about 1/8 of an inch, about what I would do on my normal applique. Once I have done that, I can go ahead and cut out the rest. So I'm going to go down here. I'm cutting once more at about 1/8 of an inch, maybe just a tad wider. Excuse me, I like to leave extra fabric at the points. I have a video that shows how I do points. You can check that out to see why I leave that extra fabric there. About 1/8 of an inch here, all the way up. And when I come up to where the two fabrics meet, let me get this done first. I go ahead and cut the top half at this time. I could also wait and cut the top half later on. That is a personal choice. I've been known to do both. I'll finish the top by clipping it around the curve here. And there we have our leaf cut out. It's now time to begin the actual applique. Part 2 of how to applique a split leaf will show you the actual stitching. See you in part 2.